method used in the algebra board is found in China in 100 AD in historical documents of the Song dynasty. The method was used as Fuji writing. The use of planchette writing as an unstable means of necromancy and the communion with the spirit world continued, and a belt under rituals and supervisions was a central practice of the Kharazan school until it was forbidden by the Qing dynasty. Several entire scriptures of Dozang are supposedly works of automatic planchette writing, according to one author. Similar methods of mediumistic spirit writing have been practiced in ancient India, Greece, Rome, and medieval Europe. As part of the spiritualistic movement, mediums began to employ various means for communication with the dead. Following the American Civil War in the United States, mediums did significant business in allegedly allowing survivors to contact lost relatives. The outfit itself was created in Baltimore, Maryland in 1890. But the use of talking boards was so common by 1886 the news reported the phenomenon taking over the spiritualist camps in Idaho. Businessman Elijah Bond had ideas to patent and planchet sold with the board on which the alphabet was printed. Much like previous existing talking boards, Bond filed on May 28, 1890 for patent protection and thus created the invention of the algebra board. Issue date on the patent was February 10, 1896. He received U.S. patent. Bond was an attorney and was inventor of other objects in addition to the device. Since early in the algebra board's history, it has been criticized by several Christian denominations. The Catholic Church in paragraph 2116 explicitly forbids any practice of deviation, which includes usage of algebra boards. The Catholic Answer and Roman Catholic Christian Apologies organization states that the Ouija board is far from harmless, as it is a form of deviation seeking for supernatural sources. Moreover, Catholic bishops in their Micronesia called for the boards to be banned and warned congregations that they were taking to demons when using algebra boards. In pastoral letter, the Dutch Reformed churches encouraged its communists to avoid algebra boards, as it is a practice related to the occult. The Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod also forbids its faithful from using the Ouija board, as it teaches such would violation of the Ten Commandments. In 2001, algebra boards were burned in New Mexico by fundamentalist groups along Harry Potter books as symbols of witchcraft. Religious criticisms also believe that the Ouija board reveals information which only should be in God's hands, and thus it is a tool of Satan. As spokesperson, Human Life International described the boards as a portal to spirits and called for Hasbro prohibited from marketing them. These religious objections to the Ouija board have, in turn, given the rise of extension-type folklore in these communities where they circulate. Cautionary tales that the board opens to door evil spirits turn the game into subject supernatural dare, especially for young people. The most common English word synonym for Satan is devil, which descends from the Middle East devel, from the Old English devol. That is a representative of early Germanic borrowing from Latin debulus. This turned into borrowed Greek word slanderer. The New Testament of the word Satan, diabolos, are used interchangeably as synonyms. Velizab, meaning the Lord of Flies, is continuous name given to Hebrew Bible and New Testament and Palestinian God, whose original name has been reconstructed. as most probably Beelzebul, Baal the prince. The Synoptic Gospels identify Satan Beelzebub as the same. The Adam Badam is used 6 times in the Old Testament, mainly as a name for one of the regions is Sheol. Revelations 9:11 describes Abaddon, whose is the name translated into the Greek as a destroyer, as an angel who rules the abyss. In modern usage, Abaddon is quite equated with Satan. New Testament, Gospels, Acts, and Apostles. The 3 synoptic apostles all describe the temptation of Christ by Satan. In the desert, Satan first shows Jesus a stone and tells him to turn it into bread. He also takes them to the pinnacle of the temple in Jerusalem and commands Jesus to throw himself down so that the angels will catch him. Satan takes Jesus to the top of the mountain as well. There he shows him the kingdoms of the earth and promises to give them all if he bow down and worship him. Each time Jesus rebukes Satan, and after the third temptation he is administered by the angels. Satan's promise in Matthew 4:8-9 and Luke 4:6-7 to give Jesus all the kingdoms of the earth implies that all those kingdoms belong to him. The fact that Jesus does not dispute Satan's promise indicates that the authors of those Gospels believe that this is true. Satan plays a big role in the parables of Jesus, namely in the parable of sower, the parable of weeds, the parable of sheep and goats, the parable of strong man. The latter 2 parables say that Satan's followers will be punished on Judgment Day, with the parable of sheep and the goats stating that the devil, his angels, and the people who follow him will be consigned to the eternal fire. With Pharisees accuse Jesus of exorcising demons through the power of reason. The Synoptic Gospel identifies Satan and his demons as causes of illness, including fever, while the Epistle of Hebrews describes the devil as him who holds power over death. The author of Luke Acts attributes more power to Satan than both Matthew and Mark. In Luke 22, Jesus grants Satan the authority to test Peter and the other apostles. Luke 22:3-6 states that Judas betrayed Jesus because Satan entered him. And in Acts 5:3, Peter describes Satan as filling Ananias' heart and causing him to sin. The Gospel of John only uses the name Satan 3 times. In John 8:84, Jesus says that Jewish or Judean enemies are children of the devil rather than the children of Abraham. The same verse describes the devil as a man killer from the beginning and a liar and the father of lying. John 13:2 describes the devil as inspiring Judas to betray Jesus. In John 12, identifies Satan as the acron of this cosmos, who is destined to be overthrown through Jesus' death and resurrection. Promises the Holy Spirit will accuse the world concerning sin, justice, and judgment, a role resembling that of Satan in the Old Testament. Jude 9 refers to a dispute between Michael the archangel and the devil over the body of Moses. Some interpreters understand this reference to be an allusion to the events described in Zechariah. The classical theologian Origen attributes this reference to the non-canonical assumption of Moses. According to James H. Charlesworth, there is no evidence that the surviving book of this name ever contained any such content. Others believe it to be lost in the ending book. The second chapter of the second Epistle of Peter and the pseudo-letter, which falsely claims to have been written by Peter, copies much of the content to Apostle Jude, but omits the specifics of example regarding Michael and Satan with Peter.